Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it today. Hey, I wanted to talk about COLA, what we're looking at, some projections, and an article that I saw on what the Consumer Price Index doing. It just came out for last month. April's numbers just came out a few days ago, 5, 6 days ago now. And just wanted to go over that with you, kind of give you a little update on all of that, and again, go through the article. Hit the thumbs up for me, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. It lets those out there know that we're watching and paying attention for sure. So here we go. The April 2023 Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers, which is the CPI-W, released May 10th, was 297.73. This is 2% above the fiscal year 2023 baseline of 291.901. The next CPI-W release is set for June 13th. Again, it's like always around maybe the end of the first week, the end of the second week. It's usually like between the 10th and the 15th usually. So of every month for the prior month. The CPI-W figures from the end of this fiscal year, which is the July, August, September timeframe, that's what's going to be used to actually calculate the COLA, which will affect Social Security and VA and so forth. So let's take a look here at the article. And the article is based on Social Security, but again, we're going to mirror Social Security anyway. So most articles that we see are going to be targeted toward Social Security when it comes to COLA numbers. So Social Security COLA, and by default VA, to drop significantly in 2024. Now, how significant? That's the question, because everybody out there probably is already aware that it's not going to be anywhere close to the 8.7 or what have you. So let's jump into it. Social Security recipients shouldn't expect 2024's cost of living adjustment, COLA, to be as significant as 2023. In this article, by the way, just came out on May 14th by Michael Bartiromo. So let's move on here. To be as significant as 2023, despite warnings that beneficiaries are losing their purchasing power. The 2024 COLA could be around 3.1%. Mary Johnson, the Social Security and Medicare policy analyst for the Senior Citizens League, said in a news release issued this last week. So this is her world, and this is the stuff she does. So she's thinking at this point, based on all the indicators, she's looking at about a 3.1%. The Senior Citizens League, a nonpartisan senior advocacy group, has for years based its estimations of upcoming COLA increases on data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics and specifically its consumer price indexes, the same data which is ultimately used by the Social Security Administration to determine its annual COLA increases. The 2023 increase of 8.7, so this is that last one that we got implemented 4 or 5 months ago. Let's see. So, was the largest COLA. The 2023 increase at 8.7% was the largest COLA increase in over 4 decades, particularly thanks to the supply chain disruptions, which fueled soaring inflation amid the pandemic. But analysts with TSCL, which is the Senior Citizens League, are worried that cooling inflation, or at least the appearance of a cooling inflation, will result in a smaller 2024 COLA increase that could have detrimental effects on beneficiaries. I agree. Inflation is moderating, but a lower inflation rate does not necessarily mean that prices have decreased. The Senior Citizens League writes in a study published earlier this month in which the group argues that key items remain stubbornly high. Johnson, speaking with Nexstar ahead of last year's COLA announcement, said that Seniors have different spending habits than younger generations. The Consumer Price Index, she said, does not accurately reflect the rising cost of that's interesting, by the way, does not reflect the rising cost of items that older Americans more frequently spend their money on, including prescription drugs, food, housing, dental services, which are generally not covered by Medicare. So that's important, right? I would think that they would try to, I mean, for Social Security, they would, that's interesting. Anyway, seniors are spending a bigger percentage of their household budgets on these expenses, Johnson said. These costs are not showing up necessarily in the COLA. There's a weakness in the cost of living adjustment. The Senior Citizens League most recent study on benefit increases over the last 2 decades also appear to show a significant decline in seniors' ability to keep up with rising prices. I know this with my grandmother, who's passed away, rest her soul. We tried to help her as much as we could along the way, but man, it was pretty tight. So I've seen it from a family member perspective. The ability to keep up with rising prices. Social Security benefits, according to the Senior Citizens League, have lost about a third of their buying power since 2000, so 23 years ago, even when accounting for every COLA increase over the last 22 years. For every $100 a retired household spent on groceries in 2000, that household can only buy about $64 worth today. Horrific. For every $100 a retired household spent on groceries, I'm reading this again, that they spent on groceries in 2000, that's 23 years ago, they can only buy about $64 worth today. The Senior Citizens League projection of a 3.1% COLA increase in 2024 are subject to change, of course. The official COLA won't be announced until October, again, using the September, August, and July CPI numbers and other factors to figure out what the COLA will be, and then it'll be announced in the middle of July. And it will not go into effect until January. But no matter the increase, it likely won't be enough to satisfy the needs of seniors, the Senior Citizen League believes. It is not like we have a great target number we are hoping for. We want to see an approach that's more comprehensive than that, said Johnson, who pointed to a number of economic issues facing current and future beneficiaries, including the possibility of Social Security insolvency, of the fact that fewer jobs now offer pensions and supplement Social Security checks. People are also living longer lives in retirement, so it's hard for anyone to save for that, she said. And that concludes it. So a couple interesting things, right? So the Senior Citizens League, they track this stuff. This is their wheelhouse for, really watching and keeping a thumb on CPI numbers and looking to forecast and project what a potential COLA would look like. And they're guessing at this point a 3.1 is something that is potential. Remember, we still have May's numbers, June. Then we get into July, August, September, which that's the real deal there with the numbers. So the other interesting thing is that you would think that Social Security would hone in a little more on the big things that seniors or recipients of Social Security spend on and use that as a fluctuator. So there are definitely some holes in the system. But in any case, remember that VA will mirror that Social Security COLA increase, and at this point we're probably looking, somewhere between the 2.5 to 3.5, depending on what the economy does and the CPI numbers are, especially the July, August, September. So with that, thanks so much. I appreciate you, and remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.